Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from DeltiasGaming.com. The time has come for me to finally give my 2 cents on Destiny 2. Mainly, is it worth purchasing, specifically for those PC folks coming up October 2017? Keep in mind a couple things. One, I'm a PC MMO player at heart who picked the game up basically on PS4 because a lot of my local friends that I grew up with were playing it, so I figured, hey, why not? I also have reserved the game for PC in October anyways, and figured, hey, I might as well get a head start learning because I didn't play Destiny 1. So my opinion is not tainted by the first game whatsoever. Speaking of Destiny 1, the main reason I really didn't play it is kind of twofold. One, I love my PC. I invested a lot of time, a lot of money building it up. I love the graphics, and I'm kind of a PC snob. With that being said, I'm also really bad at controllers, so I didn't want to suck, which I am sucking now. However, I am getting better, and I actually like the console a lot more, specifically the PS4, because it's just so easy to sit down and play. I don't have to worry about a bunch of other things. Number 2, I love story, and my friends that were playing Destiny said, really, there isn't really much story in the vanilla part, which is basically the non-DLC, so I was like, man, I'm going to pass it for now. And mainly I was a Mass Effect fan. That was my favorite series of all time, and I thought Mass Effect Andromeda would live up to the hype, and I was looking for something that was kind of like that with a better multiplayer, and that's pretty much Destiny. So I gotta be honest with you folks, I was thinking about quitting gaming because of the grind, the time commitment, and kind of like the pay-to-win aspects of what's been going on in gaming. I really just hadn't been enjoying myself after Elder Scrolls Online. Played a little Madden, but really put games down for a couple months and figured, alright, let's give it an honest opinion. Do I like gaming? Is it lighting that fire? And Destiny really did. My main concern when picking a new game, specifically an MMO or like a long-term game, is the grind. You know, how much time are you going to have to invest to be a good player? When I say a good player, yes, there's always going to be room for min-maxing, getting every ounce of performance out of your gear. But I'm talking about, can someone just pick the game up a couple hours here and there, maybe go hard on the weekends, and be relatively competitive within 5–10% of someone else in PvE and PvP? The thing that struck me most about Destiny, besides the huge massive environment and all the quests and lore, is basically that everything you did in the game kind of progressed your character at the same rate. Meaning if I wanted to go do the Crucible, which is the main PvP area, I would progress pretty fast. If I wanted to do adventures or quests, I would progress pretty fast. When I say progress, it would progress both in level and then also gear. So you have a max level of 20 and then you have your gear score or your power level. This really determines your end game score or how good you are, how powerful you are. So I played for about 10 hours solid, and that got me to level 20 on my first character. Now, I was watching cutscenes, skipping through pretty fast, and semi-exploring. My second character almost to end game, and it's roughly about 6–7 hours, and I didn't even use any boosters. So you can get through the main campaign pretty quickly. Now, once you get there, then you have to start working on your gear, and that's a little bit slower, but it's nothing in comparison to previous games where you could spend an entire Saturday, 8 hours in a dungeon to get nothing that you actually needed. So the point I'm trying to get to that I liked about Destiny and what really determined if I was going to play long term is that there is room for spending a lot of time in the game, some of it which is repetitive, like doing the same things over and over, just like any other MMO, just like anything. But if you like those things, it's not really repetitive, right? I remember spending hours and hours and hours in Cyrodiil. It was the same thing over and over, but it was fun. It was with my friends. It was fresh. At this stage in my life, sometimes I just want to go in, do a PvP match for 15 minutes, win, lose, bitch, yell, complain, boom, move on, and enjoy the rest of my day. That's what Destiny gives me, is it allows me to progress my character through the content that I enjoy. I can't stress that enough. I'm tired of games where I have to do something hours and hours and hours to get something gear-wise that makes my character relative. That way I can do something that I enjoy. Not the case in Destiny. While Destiny 2 isn't perfect and isn't for anyone, the major concern I have with the game is build diversity and the lack thereof. I think the development team sacrificed build diversity for balance, and the game feels really balanced. There's 3 characters, 3 classes, each with their own subclass or spec. So essentially, you don't have a whole lot of wiggle room to make really unique, interesting, effective builds, right? Every game's going to have meta or optimal build. You should play your Warlock exactly like this. You should play your Titan exactly like this, and I get that. there seems to be like a lack of really impactful choices where you're leveling up, you get this one point and you're like, wow, I can survive a lot better, or wow, I can kill things a lot faster. It seems like a kind of a slow progression, kind of like Borderlands, right? Where you get a weapon, okay, 5 minutes later, it's 2% more powerful. Boom, got it. Okay, 5 minutes later, I get another weapon, it's 1% more powerful. It kind of gives you that hamster wheel feeling, but there's no like massive jump. And I guess they did this for balancing them. But my concern as a content creator is how can I make builds unique, interesting, and yet effective at the same time? They have things called exotics, and these are essentially your set bonuses. The problem is you can only use 2 of them at a time, so like a weapon and an armor piece. And they do really cool, unique, interesting things, but if you look at like Elder Scrolls Online, just the sheer volume of skills in gear pieces makes like a content creator drool. So I still plan on making builds for this, but it's going to be really hard to find a way to make them novel and effective at the same time. The downside is some of the content is repetitive, like I said before, and people had warned me about that, but it's just fun. You know, in Mass Effect, playing cooperative PvP was the only way you could do it. You couldn't go against each other head to head. I feel like the PvP is lacking a bit since there's only one mode and there's really like no open world PvP, but the PvE seems really, really solid. You got open world, you got instance-based 3-man fire teams, you got the raids, which are really cool, but it does seem like PvP is on the light side. So, should you buy Destiny 2? In a nutshell, I can't answer that for you. I don't know how your money is or whatnot, but if you like sci-fi shooters, I would say yes. And it's like Mass Effect with an actual really good multiplayer. It's like Halo Mass Effect made a baby, and it's Destiny, in my opinion. I really enjoyed the story. They've added tons of lore, tons of areas to explore. It is a bit repetitive, but for someone like me, as a child, getting back in shape, I really don't have the time to spend 8-12 hours a day like I used to in-game, a non-healthy amount, and this game fits that for me. I would say if you don't like open world or PvE heavy MMOs, no. So I'm a PvP guy at heart, though I'm absolutely terrible right now. So it does seem a little bit light on the PvP. Since I didn't come into the first game, the first week, I kind of didn't know what to do, and my opinion of it was negative, but now after I've learned and people help me in the stream and so forth, I'm really, really liking the game. And you can see me, sticking with it for 3 years or however long it's there. I got that feeling again, that itch, that I can't put the game down, that I want to continue to keep playing over and over and over, that I hadn't really felt for games for quite a while. And then when I knew I really liked it was when my mind was racing going, okay, how can I make all this information that I'm learning into build guides for other people like on PC that are just as clueless as me right now playing it for the first time? Ultimately, I love the game, actually, and I'm going to play it both on PS4 and PC, and I want to work on guides mainly for the new players that are transitioning into it for the first time or going to get it on PC. That way I can take time, help you guys out, and I can learn more about the game, get better, and maybe make some cool builds and stuff like that I used to do for Elder Scrolls Online, but for Destiny 2. The game has a huge population, there's always something going on, always people to play with, so it's a blast. So hopefully this helps you out making that decision if you want to buy the game or not. I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Subscribe, like if you like this video, and I will be making more Destiny 2 content, specifically for newer folks, newer players, as I learn the game, get better, and then hopefully we'll start making some cool builds. Thanks for watching.